Yo, 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 it's the mayor, man. Just sitting up, man. Food for thought, man. Just reminiscing, man. We just had a get together, man. It came from a get together with the family, man, this past weekend, right? And man, you get around family, you get to sharing those stories and stuff like that. And when I tell you, I know I supposed to did. I'm still gonna do when gang banging hit the South. You know what I'm saying? I'm still gonna do that. But this is a prelude to that. You know what I'm saying? Just sitting back thinking, man, even in that era, in the '80s and early '90s and stuff with the with gang banging taking off, D boys, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that was around. You know, I be sitting up talking to my, kids and the younger cousins and stuff like that, man. And it be funny when they get mad. They get mad because of little things they can't get or they don't want to get or these as they said YNs. They more than anything get mad. Just like I was on talking to my cousin the other yesterday, and a conflict broke out. I heard in the background, and her daughter was going out the door, and all I heard is, "Man, I don't care nothing about that N word. I don't care nothing about that N word." And I said, "Cuz, what going on?" We on the phone. I said, "Cuz, what going on?" And she was like, "I don't know." I said, "Man, tell little cuz to come back in the house." She was already saying, "Come back in the house," telling her daughter to come back in the house, and they go to the back of the apartment. Uh, and I was like, "Yeah, tell her to come on back in there, man. Wherever she going, it could wait." You know what I'm saying? I ain't no telling what they could go on there. And my cousin was like, "Yeah, cause these little dudes out here, man, got these big ass guns and did that and this." And I said, "Yeah, tell her to come on back in, man, cause that ain't, we don't even want no parts of that. What could be, what might, just none of the various things of if she get caught up in this, because that's how it go. These dudes pull the trigger and close their eye. They scared. They scared. If you clap loud, they blinking. You know what I'm saying? So what they doing with these guns? These things they got switches on them and they can control them as it is. And they weigh 100 pounds. They got something that don't know how to stand. It ain't about the 100 pounds. It's just they don't know what they doing. So that's how other people end up getting hit. But anyway, I said, man, we went to talking. I'm like, man, these little dudes ain't what it is. No, we had real monsters in the hood. Real, lions and tigers and bears. Well, you know, man, I had a bunch of I hung around a bunch of the worst, like known, known robbers, known, you know, people that done went to prison for murder and did 30 years and 20 flat, 20, some of them, one of the guys I was cool with, he went when we was 14. He didn't get out till he was down to 40. So, you know what I'm saying? It's back then they was around, and I had a situation one time, man, where one of the OGs got out. He did 30 flat, got out. And he was just riding through the hood. Did what he told me. He was just riding through the whole hood. And he remembered me from when I was younger. And he jumped out and he was like, you know, I'm like, looking at him like, I remember, but I kind of don't. It's been so long. He was like, boy, he got out the car and came around the car. What's up, little tour? Woo, woo. That's my government. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what's up? But I'm still trying to like, who is this? And he was like, boy, this Ty. And shook my hand or whatever, hugged me. I was standing out there with like 7 people. Man, after he shook my hand and was like, what's up, boy? And I really, okay, this who it is. And I go to talk to him and, I just looking around like, what you been up to? I'm just looking around like that, man, just chilling. The 6, 7 people that was out there with me, gone. And I see one on down getting to his car, you know. So we stood there and talked for about 15 minutes. And he left. And when he left, I'm like, all right, now I'll let you later, and watched them, pull off, bend the corner, and it's like when I turned back around, they was back out there, doing their thing. At this time, it was a little spot where we used to be at. And I'm like, I thought then, like, what the, come to find out, he was you know, that dude, like, if he feel like you own, and you ain't go keep it, do nothing to keep it, he taking it. Even if he felt like you were gonna do something to keep it, he taking it. So I'm saying that said it, man. We had a lot of dangerous people in our hood, and all of them that I knew of were cool with me. Even the ones that went from my hood, like it was certain people wouldn't go around because they were like, oh, he go rob. Don't even serve him because he go play some type of game. He go rob. I can sit up and say I never been robbed in during them times and days when I was out there, messing around. You know what I'm saying, playing around, and I done had to save people. Like I'd be in the club, we had to. I had one partner, rest his soul. I'ma just call him Jay because I don't know how his family feel about it. You know what I'm saying? But they know what I'm talking about. My folks know what I'm talking about. We be in the club rocking, packed, full. You got people from this side of town, this side of town, about three different sides of town. He ain't finna mess with nobody on from our side of town, but in the other side of town, oh he's stalking you. He's stalking you. It's like like I said, he going from the is a herd of zebras. They looking for the weakest one. You know what I'm saying? Like a cheetah go pick out the weakest one, or a lion go pick out the weakest one and corner it off. He looking. He's sitting there with his hat. He used to always have his hat down to where it's like right here. I used to be like, how he see? But he's standing over the head. He bobbing his head with his arm folded. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He was G. He was gangster. You know what I'm saying? He was GD. And I peep around the room, but I know it's a few people in here that I know that was, of high level, that I mess with, you know what I'm saying? They know they jury on and buying drinks. He gonna sit there and scope you the whole night. He ain't gonna wait till everybody gone. He ain't gonna wait till you gone. He might wait till you go to the bathroom. I done seen him get somebody in the bathroom in the club and tell them don't come out. You know what I'm saying? Type stuff. So I knew he was doing this type stuff. So one night I'm in there, it was a good time, man. I'm feeling good. And he's sitting there in the middle of the crowd, like by the bar at that rocket. So I walk up to him, I said, Jay, what's going on? Oh, what's up? What's up? His hat so low he had to look up, like, oh, what's up, T? Woo, woo, woo. And I'm like, man, what you got going on, man? Oh man, I ain't got nothing going on, man. Bro, come on, man. What you got going on, man? What you doing? Man, shit. Man, I gotta eat, man. I gotta get it, man. I'm like, man, don't do that, man. Just chill out. Cause he had just got out off of murder. You know what I'm saying? He just been gone about a year. We was investigating him on a murder and he got, he beat it. So he butt naked. He ain't got nothing. He know everybody finna be at this club. And he did that. As soon as he said, I gotta get it, man. I need something in my pocket. Woo, woo. And I respect him and had love for him. And so I used to be like, man, once I see he was on it, I'd be like, man, come holler at me. Come walk to the car with me. He liked the bud. He liked the smoke. So I'd be like, bro, I got me a little, smoke or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Huh? Get this, man. And then, shit, you know what I'm saying? That's great. He'd be like, yeah, that's great. That's great. I'm like, and I'd be like, huh, man, hold on. You know what I'm saying? And I hit him off with some bread. And I was like, man, please, man, just don't even do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because I know it gonna be. I know damn near everybody in the club. I know 80% of these people that's in the club. I might know all the dudes and not all the females because I don't, pay attention to nobody female. But I knew it was gonna be one of them because they from the other side. So I done did that like two, three times. He always be like, man, last time I did it before he passed, he was like, boy, you be you be saving these dudes, bro. But I could be saving you, because everybody ain't gonna get up, or if they do get up, Now you got to worry about, looking out for them, watching over your shoulder. He had just had a baby. He just had a newborn baby, and his brother was like 40 something. And just had a newborn baby. Then he ended up passing. I want to say his baby had just turned a year, but he was a whole wolf. Like he wasn't gonna try nobody in the hood, and he have tried, but it was way before, But he was a good dude, but he wasn't gonna try nobody out the hood. He had got to that stage in life, he was younger when he did try somebody out the hood, but that stage life, the hood was the hood. It had swindled and dwindled down to where ain't no houses there, but it's still us. We come through there. That's the spot we come through in Port, and we'll run into each other every so many months or whatever, every other weekend. So it was off limits. But man, for them other dudes, he finna get them. He finna get them. And I done seen this work. So I used to stop him. That's just one of them, man. That if you ain't somebody, man, that people respect, you can't stop them back then in the hood. And even today, you can't stop them. I see a lot of these dudes say, it's definitely not. These younger dudes are not listening to the older dudes. You know, at the time I was a younger dude, mid 20s and stuff like that. I could go to my, the older, what I'm saying, as I call them, my OGs out the hood that I've seen lay the foundation or whatever they had for the hood. They had that type of respect he had. I could go to them and talk to them because I always kept it in the lines of boundary of respect. So I done, I done stopped a lot of things, man. Some of the things I ain't gonna even say, but it kind of brung shame to the hood. But it's just dudes being dudes. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, at that time, man, like if you had a pack or something, or you couldn't just be knowing about it with a pack back then. You had to be strong to have a pack back then, man. I'd have been in other folks' hood, and you can see it in their eyes. Oh, he gonna try me. You know, the wrong person asks you what you got going on, man. What you doing? You got this, you got that. Nah, nah. Or even if you told them, yeah, I wasn't the one that really told them, yeah, but I wasn't really always on that. Nah, you know what I'm saying? Once I seen now, it's like if you keep telling them yeah, and somebody tell them no, somebody tell them yeah, he got it, cause you cool with somebody over there, and they tell them, oh, go to it, or somebody bring them to you. You had to be like, nah, or yeah, do that, yeah, and know what you finna have to deal with, or what possibly go come behind, telling them yeah, yeah, man, I can help you, you know. Nah, they gonna come back. You know what I'm saying? They'll come back by themselves. Even if you did at that time, they gonna come back by themselves on that rod, man, tip. I'm finna take it. And then possibly take your life. Cause you know who they is, cause the other person that brung them and you see who they is. So when they come back that next time, get with. They in their mind, oh, I gotta take him out of there because he didn't sink me here. So and again, not trying to make like this the facts, this facts. I ain't never been at that time in the game, in decades ago or whatever. I never been robbed. Somebody done stole something from me. I ain't gonna say 'cause ain't nobody never stolen that from me, but rob or some, just straight took from me, never happened. Never happened. In the worst of the worst. I don't care where you at in the world. I could drop these dudes in places in the world and they go come back on top and they go come back with a Santa Claus bag. You know what I'm saying? Just straight up. They go come back with a Santa Claus bag. I could drop them in Timbuktu. If they ain't got nothing but bow and arrows and horns and homemade, they coming back with that. You know what I'm saying? And if in the village with the just they ain't got nothing but something to cover their private parts, or uh, uh, they coming back with that. You know what I'm saying? They just don't kind of do. And then we had a guy, man, that ran around, especially on that tip, boy. If you him or you got a little motion, he coming to see you. And I say this name, you know what I'm saying? And their name was Dangerfield. I had an encounter with him, and it wasn't me because I was like a teenager then, but motion. And that man came in there and robbed the whole house. I was at the door, like we in the PJs. That man came in the door, and the chair is, you open the door, you can go straight up steps, or you go around and go into the, that's the living room, then the kitchen in the back. Partner them was in the kitchen playing cards. That man, this how I know he laid on us. He came in there and said, "Man, hey, put your head down. Put your head between your legs." I sneaked down, put my head down. He said, "Don't lift it up." And I'm like, "These dude don't hear he getting the liver." I mean, in the kitchen, I hear him telling them, "Hey, go on. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is." And you hear them, and I'm like, "Man, dang, it's real, man. Come on, man. Come on, bro." And he was like, "Man, hey, look, don't keep talking to me, man. The more you talk to me, the worse you go get." So, I wasn't in there, but two of my homeboys at the time was in there. So he like, just go on, get up, man, make it easy on yourself. So I hear, hey, come on, empty your pocket. Yeah, let me get that chain. I hear that, and I hear the little, money. You can hear people, somebody grab the money off the table, whatever, whatever, whatever. And he told him, he said, "Look, I'm gonna leave it at this." He's like, "Don't nobody come out that door. I don't want to eat those for the next 5 minutes. This, that, and this, and that, and this." So I'm still down there on my head down. You know what I'm saying? Got a big Tupac herringbone on, and he left out. So they waited. They estimated 5 minutes, but the dude house it was, he came to the front door and looked out the front door, then looked out the back door, and once he realized he was gone, man, cussing and fussing, cussing and fussing. I told my homeboy and I said, "Hey man, come on man, let go." Now they ain't bring all their money. This the dude house who they were gambling with. I know he got all their money. You know what I'm saying? But come to find out, the next day I pull up on my grandma house the next morning. My uncle was sitting on the porch. He said, "Man, hey, stay out of this area. I ain't gonna call it the hood area." He said, "Stay out of this area." And I'm looking at him like, "Okay, why?" You know, he said, "Just stay away from over there." He ain't tell me that day, but he told me like a month later. He said, "Hey, yeah, they have him over there, to your boy and stuff over there at the card game, and you were there." He said, "The only reason," partner told me, "the only reason is because you my nephew." You see what I'm saying? He said he knew who you were. He sat out there and watched y'all go in and out the project and back in. So he knew who everybody was, but he said he knew you was my nephew. That's why he ain't take your stuff. And I'm like, wow. And at this time, I'm 16 years old. You know what I'm saying? And had the hair bone on. Everybody used to have the diamond cut, initial ring with the T on it. Had a bracelet. You know what I'm saying? Nice little nugget bracelet on. He ain't take none of my stuff. But at the same time, when I dip my head, I'm got my hands in between my knees. I'm trying to hide my bracelet, not knowing my necklace sticking out in the back of my shirt. He could have took it, and that what he told my uncle. He said, "Man, yeah, I saw that necklace. You know what I'm saying?" He said, "But I knew that was your nephew. You know, that's another incident. You know what I'm saying?" And yeah, man, it's man, I done stopped a lot of stuff, man. So just call this, when people talk about the game and we're supposed to be in it, we don't supposed to be in it, like snitching, don't supposed to be in it, no women in church, and I stand on that, women in church and the elders, I believe in that, but I know people been telling, the big uproar now is people telling, you know what I'm saying? That been in the game. That ain't just start with the dude, you know what I'm saying, 6'9". That ain't just They were been telling. You know, he wasn't born when Nicky Barnes did what he did. When you know, whatever the one from South Carolina or whatever did, you know, but they magnify him because he from the South. But what about the native New Yorkers? You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of people told, a lot of people been telling everywhere. Not just these big states and these big cities, and you know they making this big thing in the rap industry because the rap dudes trying to portray street dudes, and some of them come from the street. You know, you got opportunities within for us. That's why the stories that they hear are even exist because we didn't have no option of rap. Wasn't nobody looking at the South back then. Period. You know, you had UGK, you know, 3 6 Mafia, you know, different groups that mess with 3 6 Mafia like Skinny Pimp, you know, the Gotti Boys. That was an actual rap group out of Tennessee. No, not Gotti Boys, Taylor Boys, uh, Gangster Pat, not Project Pat. Project Pat, them two different entities. But Memphis and Texas, you know, had their thing in the before Master P. Look at Pocketbook Stone way before Master P. Uh, uh, Tell the Clubs up way before Master P. You know, Louisiana wasn't known for music for as outside of Louisiana with that bounce music. You know, Louisiana really ain't pick up to Master P. You know what I'm saying? Just being honest. But, you know, DJ Screw, you know, we didn't know of any of the artists. You know, we got to know the artists through DJ Screw, like Zero, uh, uh, Slim Thug, but it was DJ Screw. Whoever DJ Screw had on there and how he chopped it, that's how we learned them. You know, and he'll highlight by bringing it back. He'll highlight a bar, you know, when he bring it back, drag it, chop it or whatever. That's how we got to know them, like, you know, Mike Jones and Slim Thug and I don't want to disrespect my saying that, but you know, shout out to him. I'm gonna I'm gonna call him. What the name the dude that did the grill? But he a good artist. You know what I'm saying? He got it. You know, that's when you know. I'm gonna say, you know, white rappers went to going prevalent. You know, before that it was Vanilla Ice. You know what I'm saying? But then Eminem came, and then he came. You know, not saying he wasn't already there, but he got. You know, they went to put more light on. You know, white guys that could rap. Power Wow. Yeah, my bad. Sloop Power Wow. Cause he's still doing his thing, you know. And but in the South, man, we want to check it from you. You know, we heard the new, you know, that's all they played on the radio back then, New York or West Coast. And you know, we got tired of that. You know, we went to listen to Kilo, you know, Nick No Neighbor Atlanta, you know, Dungeon Family. You know, I can remember when Outkast took off in the 90s, you know what I'm saying? Uh, Me and you, yo, bro, the two, yeah, that, all that. Yeah. Slamming Cadillac, though, yeah, before that. That's when they started tipping the scale. You know, it went even with Master P that it really with the blowing they got acknowledgement, but it went to blowing with Outkast, Dungeon Family got in there. You know what I'm saying? UGK was already there. You know what I'm saying? 3 6 Mafia been there. 8 Ball MJG, I must say, they deserve so many flowers. Been there. And I'm talking about flowing. Take them up north and, you know, man, I don't know about the South Florida freestyling, but I'm pretty sure they could, but put Am record and they bars on the record up against somebody up there in New York, it go stand. And they see we don't Nah, you go ahead playing the clip like that boy said, what that boy said on that on that lay it down. Uh, Somebody run me up by the bitch, but they look like 33. Talking about, what did I meet that hoe? Fuck that hoe. Try that hoe. You know what I'm saying? Take it side to step and go. What's that? Boy, that boy there, them boy there used to snap. MJG? Oh, yeah. Mastermind. Oh shit, look at that bitch, thumb a bitch, catch a flight. Yeah, ho. Now you know, I'm a pimpin', I'm a clown, all upside your head. Yeah, I'ma lay it down. Like that before anybody that you could think of talking about balls. That was that man, that was the South anthem. We used to get to fighting at the rink over that. So yeah, but anyway, that's what they get it mixed up at and talking about the streets and this, that, and that. But man, look, let me tell you, I was there. I was in the mix before and these dudes, so-called new tough dudes, man. It's that thing with them old the elders used to say, yeah, they weak because they had to be join something, or they weak because they had to be. It had to be a bunch of them by themselves. They ain't them. Yeah, we join gangs, but you catch up by ourselves. That generation by itself, they just as tough because they had to represent that flag, that color. And the thing was, it's the inside thing that was unwritten and unspoken. If if I was a certain gang and another, as y'all said, as they said, opposition caught me, I'm a representation of that game. If I ran, they go look at all the whatever I claim, and they go run. If I stood there and didn't do nothing, they gonna say, "Oh, Lord, man." But if I got in, went to action and they caught me and I never turned down nothing and I always stood on 10, that's what they meant by I'm I'm I make this don't make me. So you represented how somebody else looked at that game by what you did. You know, it's always a weak link in their chain. You know what I'm saying? You just ain't gonna know it till it pop. You know, so yeah, man, it was just totally different, man. But this is a little prelude, a little mini episode. The Lions, the Tigers, and Bears. They people don't understand, man. In in the '90s, if you weren't stiff, you ain't gonna have it. If '90s, you weren't stiff, you weren't finna be riding around here nice through nobody hood or nothing like that. You know, if you weren't stiff, you would definitely weren't finna have no motion. Talking about a pack or hustling, you weren't finna have none of that. You weren't finna have none of that. And I could bring anybody that I know, and they could tell their own story, who they know from their hood or whatever. That hey, everybody knew a couple of people, but this version, it wasn't no different than back in the day when we used to go outside to play. If you weren't stiff, somebody go pick on you at school. At school, if you weren't stiff, you gonna get, as y'all call bullying because somebody talked about your outfits or said something about your shoes. Our bullying was getting hands put on you, getting your lunch money took. Real talk, if they think that's funny, it sound funny now, but getting your lunch money took, your lunch money, your lunch card, whatever your mama sent you in your little lunch, thing, is getting took. It's getting took. That's bullying. But because somebody say, "Oh man, look at him with his shirt," and this, that, that's bullying. That ain't bullying, man. That's just somebody. We call that cracking, or some people call it josing, or janking, or snapping. Or no, if they call it snap, we call it cracking. Cracking on you. You know, but just like I said, this just little in little on man, just what the world don't understand, and I'm a start this as a segue. Like man, in the midst of that, like man, who was it? Who was known for causing problems? If you weren't stiff, you finna be one of the on the list, or I'm finna cause a problem for him. So what you gonna do? You gonna either stop coming over him, or you gonna keep coming over him. And the ones you saw that kept coming, they were still. They were still. You know, when I seen it firsthand, heard about it, and all that. But these dudes now, man, they just it's random. It's random acts of off of random emotions. Back then, you couldn't come to nobody or do something in a random act and then have no, cause that go get you in more trouble for a streetwise and them folk than anything, but more streetwise. Like, you know, people handling stuff in the streets. Like they say, keep it in the streets. They kept it in the streets. So, you know, it wasn't no random act. It like, you know, you had to go through certain channels. It's certain steps you had to take, man, protocol to do anything in somebody, especially in somebody else's hood. How these little dudes be going to somebody else's hood? Well, you couldn't do that back then. And make it back home, because by the time you make it back home, we gonna meet you there. I promise you, gonna meet you there. Real talk, especially if they know who it is. So, you know, it's just food for thought, man. Sitting up there thinking, I know it kind of like a little ramble, but it's true stories, you know, and true story, man, and true time of a different time. You know what I'm saying? But we go kick off that segment, man. Definitely go do that segment of when the game back and hit, you know, not the South, but I can't speak for no one but Birmingham, Alabama. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't the '90s. It was here. It was here in the late '80s that I saw. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it was just a certain, you know, that was brung down here and stuck more than anything, you know. But yeah, man, understand, you know, this set Back to the Future, a flash, not Back to the Future, but a blast from the past, man. It was lions, tigers, and bears out there, and if you wasn't a lion, a tiger, a bear, or a stiff lion, tiger, bear, you could be a lion, tiger, and bear and still get tried. We had one dude. I'm gonna leave with this. We had one dude, another dude that was known for friend, homeboy, whatever. He known. He go try. He go. You know what I'm saying? And he tried one of his somebody he was cool with. He tried him and lost his life. And that was 20 years ago, and people still talk about that. The dude that he tried that took his life, he just passed, and everybody in the city know about that. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it wasn't no, you wasn't off limits. You really wasn't off limits. It just depending on how much love and respect a person had from you, the person you hang around, you know what he is, you know what he'll do, but they ain't never did it to you out of love and you know the love because you still mess with them because you know what kind of name they got, but they in the car with you or you pull up on them and holler at them and chill, you know, speak, you know, they respect the fact you still mess with them, even though you know what kind of name they got. That's what I'm saying, you know. But 90% of the time, you wasn't off limit. You know, they just ain't got that desperate, you know. But anyway, blast from the past, man. You know, lion, tigers, and bears in the hood, man. Understand that. Also, tell the tales. So, you know, I'm gonna leave y'all with that one, man. Hope y'all enjoy it, man. If y'all want more, man, hit the thumbs up, and let me know, man. Subscribe, man, share and like, man. I'm gonna definitely get back with y'all. I'm probably run a live in a minute. And if y'all want to, y'all can talk to me about that.